Alright, so, welcome. This will be the first video I put into my, little video journal catalog, if you will. I don't really intend for anybody to actually watch these. It's mostly just a way for me to, put my thoughts into words and, just because I don't have the attention span for, an actual notebook or diary per se, and I don't feel like writing stuff on Google Doc. I don't have the will or attention span, and I want this to last. I want this to be a way where I can express myself without having to bottle it all up, and you know what I mean. But I intend, just so there's like a little background thing I can focus on, just having a Minecraft world in the back. Um, just kind of documenting thoughts or things that happen to me, or just little stuff like that. So yeah, I haven't really thought of a name yet, so I'm just gonna name it the journal. I don't really know what this is kind of I gotta get used to talking into a actual speaker and stuff again, cause it's been a while. Last time I probably actually tried to record a video was probably 2 or 3 years ago. Most of the old stuff I've taken down, so it's not up anymore. But yeah, I just want to have this out there. I'll probably upload every once in a while whenever I feel like I have either something really important to share or I just want to talk to something for a little bit. But yeah, so just, loading up the new world. Today specifically, it's actually January 1st, so New Year's Day, 4 a.m., so 4 hours after we hit the new year and all that stuff. Um, Hold on, let me turn on my shaders real quick. I'm okay. I love BSL. I just wanted to throw that out there. BSL is probably the best shader to exist. Anyways, so yeah, I will just be, documenting my life and experiences I've had or things I want to talk about or rant about. And I think this will help me personally on a personal level. It'll just be a way for me to express my thoughts without bottling them up and then making sure they steer on the right track. Because once I say for example, let's say I'm what's the best way to describe this? Let's say I want to commit to something, right? The first way I have to do it is plan it out or say something, or I'm trying to let's say I want to be a better person in some aspect or way. I have to put that out into the world so I don't mess it up, screw it the wrong way. Anyways, so yeah, back to the original point. Today is January 1st. It's 4 a.m. right now. I probably should be in bed, but I do want to record my little first video journal recording just because I want to feel like I've gotten it started. I hope I do keep this up, my current state. I hope I do continue this and continue to record my thoughts over time. I don't know how long I'll make this little video, but yeah. The topic I wanted to get on today is just it's about just trying to be the better person, or not the better person, but trying to be what's the term? I'm really tired right now. The term for it's I really should know this. It's being the better, being uh God. I'm actually I'm an idiot right now. Why can't I think of the term? Um, being this term, it's when two people do some bad shit to each other, but being the being the higher person or whatever, or let's say or not being not stooping down to a level, I don't know the term. I gotta look it up real quick. And this is, I know it's dumb, but I gotta look it up. Let's ask AI because I don't feel like opening Safari and researching. What's the term for somebody who takes the higher route in an argument? The term gives you taking the high road. Other potential terms. Phrases. I don't know. I don't need words. I need phrases. I guess just I don't know, I guess taking the high road or being there's a specific term like I can't think of it. It doesn't it's unimportant right now. I'll put it in the title of this video or whatever. But yeah, being the better person and just like attempting to basically reconcile or not reconcile, but like taking the high road, right? Like let's say, two people get into an argument, you're like, well, I guess this is how I'm gonna take the high road, right? So like, let's say I get into an argument with one of my buddies, instead of stooping low and going and just like shitting on them, I'm gonna take the high road and go like, okay, yeah, I that happened. I'm just gonna be the better person. I'm just gonna ignore it, right? So that's kind of like the subject. I just want to talk about like how difficult it is to take the high road in like certain situations in life, and um and it's kind of attached to like it's like a specific like experience I've had. I just want to give like a little backstory, I guess. So there was this girl, right? I was dating her for about a month and a half. We started November 14th, and we broke up like a couple days ago. So probably like a month and a half, something like that. And I did really like her. I thought we got along good. I think because she had reached out to me for she like I don't know. I'm not gonna get into like all like the specifics of how we got together and like all the relationship and stuff. Point is, we got together because I had like heard rumors and stuff about her liking me, and I thought she was cute, so I wanted to check it out. And I was like, I started talking to her, and then one thing led to another, and then we started dating, right? So we started dating, and I really liked her. I think at the time she really liked me, just by like the way she talked and the way she would say things, and she was very direct. Like when going into the relationship, a lot of people around me told me like, oh, don't do it. She's kind of known to be a jerk. Like other dudes she's talked to, it's like they all like have tried to avoid her. Like she's really known for being kind of just an overall jerk to guys. Before I was like, and I listened to him, and I was like, yeah, I don't know if I really like want to listen because she's pretty. Like I don't know, like oh, as a hot girl, I'm still gonna do it anyways, right? So so we started talking, right? And I had like heard warnings and stuff about her, but then we get into the relationship, and it was a good time. My family really liked her. When I met her dad and her sister, I really liked them. Honestly, I have no grudges against them. They were good people. Um, but like, you know, so we're starting dating, right? But like throughout the relationship, like little shit would happen, and this is part of the reason why I want to start the journal, because like I used to, dude, I'll overthink so bad, and I'll just like let shit get into my head, and it just stays there, right? It just stays there, and it festers in my mind, and it's like, oh god, and then I start to spiral, and then it gets really bad. Anyways, but like there was like little stuff, and I think she was like, I don't think she did anything on purpose. Like honest to God, I don't think she did anything on purpose. I think she was just like that was just like it was because I was her first ever like real relationship. But like she had been done dirty before and like past like talk, I guess, quote unquote talking stages she's had, right? So like she would complain about him, and that's fair. Like I would complain about, like I would say I would complain about. I don't really have any grudges against my first ex. I mean, my first ex was a good person. We just weren't compatible just because like we had different religious outlooks on life. So it was like, this probably isn't gonna work out. Um, but like but like there was like little stuff that my second ex, my girlfriend of a month and a half, that she would do, and it's just like what's going on? Like I remember early on, she would like call other dudes like attractive or something in front of me, and it's like, come on, bro, like where did that come from? And I probably should have known there that like crap's going downhill. Like that was a really big warning sign for me, and I did not listen to those warning signs. I was like, okay. And I had told her, I was like, hey, that kind of makes me uncomfortable. Could you stop doing that? And she actually did. Credit to her. She did. After I complained to her about certain stuff, like she didn't do it again. So I'm gonna give her credit for that. She did stop doing that. I think she recognized that, even if because I think most of it was joking. Maybe I'm just thinking hopefully, but I think she was joking on some of it. And she like, she recognized it hurt me, and she's like, okay, I'll stop doing it. So she stopped doing it, right? Good on her. I'll apply. Oh, where's my skin? Oh, where's my skin? Why am I playing as a woman? I should be playing as Octodad or Link, one of the two. Okay, I'll put it on later. Anyways, so and she's like, nah, 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 and and she fixes it. I'm honestly I'm happy with it, right? Like, wow, wow, you that's good because she's like, but like, okay, so that was one of the things. She would call dudes attractive, and then like, but I remember like she would always talk about like, oh, I used to be like, she never said the word hoe specifically, but like, yeah, I would consider that to be the term for it. But she would like snap or like, I guess like she would use social media and stuff, and she would be like, oh yeah, I used to talk to like three or four different dudes at one time back in my quote unquote prime, which I think was a poor word to describe it. I think that's kind of another thing that kind of made it worse for me. She would describe it as her prime when she would, snap three or four guys at once, and she would do all this stuff, and it's like, and I think that's where the very early seeds of doubt like started to plant in my head, about like worrying about like her cheating on me and stuff. Because like, oh, you used to do this before. What makes me any different, right? Like, sure, I'm the first one you've ever actually dated, and I'm the one you've told me like. She was like, oh, you're my first ever, like you're the first ever guy that's actually treated me right. And I did. I tried my best. I wasn't perfect. I'll get to that later. But like, I tried my best. I tried to be, someone who was there for her, all that kind of stuff. And I just remember like thinking like, man, like if she used to do all this shit before, why isn't she doing it now? And the way she described it, like when she stopped doing it, she was like, oh, it just got too exhausting. It was too tiring. Rather than like I kind of wish back then she was more like, oh, I realized that was pretty bad of me to do, and I kind of stopped doing it because I felt bad for myself. Like I not felt bad for myself, but like I felt guilty about doing that, or not guilt. Like I just like I feel like she would recognize, instead of stopping it because she felt like it was too much work, she stopped it because of like self improvement. Like, you know what I mean? But that was just like a little seed of doubt early on, and there was like other like little things, and I think I'll get to that. So anyway, so those were like some early seeds of doubt that I had with her, and I remember being like, um, I just remember being like, damn, like, why isn't she gonna do this to me? Anyways, so I let that kind of like fester for a little bit, and then we went on some good dates. I'd say we had a good time, like mostly, and then it was about 2 days before Christmas. That date right there was like really like where everything started going downhill. Cause this is where I fucked up, right? This is where like I was like, gosh, like damn, I'm fucked. Like that. This is where my mistake came in, and it was like, right. So this is where my seeds of doubt came in, and I had told her, we were supposed to go. This was 2 days before Christmas, the 23rd, or no, no, 2 days before Christmas Eve, so the 22nd. I had told her like or we had like talked about like we both wanted to go ice skating, right? Okay, so we went ice skating at this like local rink, whatever, right? And we go ice skating, and I mean, it's not like the most like greatest date. Like even then, like during the date, I would say I had a good time, but I think she was like, or I think like I had a good time during the day, and I think she was just bored, and I think I was a little bit bored, and like I think we were both like to each other like, wow, this was not what we expected. This isn't as cute of a date. And it was like, okay, yeah, whatever. Like this isn't as great of a date. I said sorry to her just because I felt bad for taking on a crappy date. She told me I was fine. I believed her. We moved on. But the weird thing was like during that date, it was just like um it was just like I don't know, it just felt very like off, and like she didn't really want to be there, talk to me. And originally, like I think now in retrospective when I'm looking at it, I think she was, okay, I'm just gonna say like I'm not gonna get into detail because this is her personal stuff. I'm not gonna like rat her out, like, because I am posting this, so it's like, even if this is my personal journal and it probably won't get seen by anybody, I just like, just in case, I'm not gonna like leak her shit or whatever. But like she had some like personal family stuff going on, like some pretty bad stuff, and I felt awful for her. I was always guilty. I was like, gosh, I wish I could just like relieve some pressure off of her, and like I wish I could just like help her out. And I think that was part of the reason why she was so direct and so quote unquote jerky to people sometimes, because she grew up in a very difficult environment. Um, but okay, so yeah. Anyways, continue. So she grew up in a very difficult environment, right? And I was like, God, that like sucks. And I think that played part of the contribution again with like our splitting. And anyways, we were at the ice skating date, and the whole time she was like constantly checking her phone. And I asked her, I was like, hey, what are you like? I was curious, like, what are you doing? and she was like, "Oh, I'm texting my friend who who I don't actually have any gripes against this friend. It's other ones I kind of don't really like all that much, but this one specifically I don't have any gripes against. But I guess this other friend had a lot of family issues going on, and my girlfriend, my ex-girlfriend, was like, "Okay, yeah, we're just gonna talk. Where I just want to help her out, walk her through some stuff." And I was kind of like, "Yeah, okay, I get. Like, I mean, it's fine, I guess, if she needs help, right? Like, I'm not gonna be like, no, you can't help your friend out or whatever, right?" But what hurt to me was like I felt like at the time I was like, gosh, like we're on a date right now. Like I know like I'm sure your friend's struggling, but like can you at least like be a little bit more paying attention to me, right? Like um but I didn't really say anything. I did tell her I was like, hey, why don't you tell insert friend's name like, hey, I'm kind of on a date right now. Can we talk about this later? She didn't do that though. Anyways, but like I was curious to know what was going on. She wouldn't let me see it. And I was like, rightfully so. Like, right, that's not my business. I don't really care all that much about what her friend's going on. Like, I don't have like stake in that at all. So it's like, okay, yeah, whatever. I don't care if I don't know what's going on. But that was like, I was like, okay, like I kind of feel crappy. Like, gosh, like why? And this is where like I started to spiral. I was like, why is my date not talking to me? And I actually got pretty good at ice skating. I just want to brag on myself a little bit. I had no, it was my first ever time, and I actually got pretty good at it. So just to toot my own horn a little bit, I am an elite ice skater, contrary to popular belief. Um, anyways, so I told her like, hey. By the end of it, I was like, I'm sorry, it was kind of a crappy date, and um, I'm sorry it wasn't like everything. Like, if we didn't want like it didn't want to be that way. And she was like, no, it's fine, it's fine. And so everything was good, right? We were all good. I would consider it successful because I had fun. That's what, at the end of the day, if she doesn't have fun, at least I had fun. So yeah, and then my mom comes and gets us up because we both can't drive yet, which sucks. I think that was another reason. I think if one of us was even able to drive, it would have been the relationship would have been so much easier. Oh my gosh, it would have been so much easier. Um, but yeah, we can't drive yet, and my mom was like, "Okay, I'm gonna come get you all," and she was gonna take us home, and we were gonna do our gift exchange, right? Now, I had not asked for anything. Like, I didn't really ask for all that much. I was like, just give me like a bottle of cologne or something. She was like, okay, I'll buy you. And she was like, because originally, like a couple weeks before that, when I told her, like when she asked, I was like, just give me something that'll like help you out too, like a bottle of cologne or something, right? And she was like, no, you're being too selfless. And I was like, no, I'm not. Just like I'm telling you, that's what I want. Because I did. I needed cologne. So I got the cologne from her. That was her gift to me, and it was just a cologne. Her dad, though, before this was awesome. He gave me a sweatshirt of my favorite like college team, and the best part about it is like he's a fan of the rival team. So everybody was like all my family members after they found out about that, he gave me a sweatshirt of his rival college team. They were like, "Wow, you must be doing a really bang up job to convince him to do that." And I mean, I guess I was at the time. But yeah, so and I tried to treat her like with my best like respects and all that stuff, and that's what her dad had told me too. So I mean I felt good about myself and how I was with the relationship. And then I just guess I do want to brag on myself just one more time before I shit on myself, because I am really proud of the present I gave her. I gave her flowers, a bouquet. It was a pretty shittily created bouquet, but I mean it was about like probably 30, 40 bucks. It was one of her favorite flowers was hydragas or something. I can't remember how you pronounce it. These like purple little cool. I really like the purple ones. And then I bought a vase because we didn't have any good vases, so I bought that. And then I got her like just a bunch of like candy and snacks, so that stuff that she likes. And then oh my gosh, this necklace took me forever. She had like lost like a necklace, a beaded necklace, months before, and she was like complaining that to me. I was like, I'm gonna find that necklace. I didn't get it spot on. The beads were a little bit smaller than I kind of wished they were, and she said the same. Like, and I was like, because when I gave her the gift, I was like, yeah, hey, the beads are a little bit smaller than I think they were originally on your old one. And she was like, yeah, just a little bit, but like this is incredibly close. So I'm just gonna brag on myself now to the part where I shit on myself. So we're back at my house, just chilling out in my room, watching a movie, right? Um, I think we made out a little bit, but I don't remember doing anything more than that. We might have, but I don't fully remember. Anyways, so we watched the movie, right? And I think we watched Ready Player One, which I love that movie, and I think she enjoyed it too, because she said she wanted to watch it, and I love Ready Player One, so that was just a good movie to watch. And um, so yeah, that was our little Christmas day. And after that, she wanted to play Minecraft on my computer like last time, which I was a little bit upset with because I never figured out how to do multiplayer on here, so it was kind of just her playing Minecraft and me sitting back. So I put her on her Minecraft world, um, which funny enough I just deleted right before I started this video. So that is certainly something. So the Minecraft world is gone now. Um, but yeah, anyway, so she's on Minecraft. I was kind of just laying down on like the little couch bed thingy right next to my computer, just playing Minecraft, and I didn't really know what to do. But I see her phone's right there, and this is where I fuck up because she had told me her password before. I was like, God, and then I start getting anxious because like, man, has this been a bad date? What have I done? And I just like, I don't know what compelled me to do. I don't even think it was fear of cheating. I think it was just like complete like brain takeover. So, and I regret this decision so much. I really do think if I never did this, we would probably still be dating if I never did this. But I decided to go through her phone after multiple times that night of her like trying to, tell me like, no, we're doing stuff. And I remember the first thing I did was, um, the first thing I did what was the first thing I did? The first thing I did was, I think I went through her. I don't remember. I only did three things on there. I remember I re-added myself to her private story because I did like a little thing on the other, like a couple nights ago where I was like, I'm gonna, or like I had jokingly said like, I'm the prize in the relationship or whatever, and she hung up on me, which we had done at the time, but that was like one of the few times I didn't call back, and she had removed me from her private story after a little while after that. What the hell? I thought I heard the dog getting mad. Um, and I remember she removed me after that, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna re-add myself because love the game. Nothing cool on there, honestly. Like it was, I didn't miss out on anything. It was just kind of something I did, which I probably, again, was probably in itself was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. That was like shit. Why did I do that? And then I remember going through her TikTok drafts, which I had done before, and she's seen me done. So I was like, I think in my head, I kind of justified it as like I've been through her TikTok drafts before, and she's shown me them all the time. So it's like, okay, whatever. I was like, in my head, it's just like, I just want to look at my girlfriend, like she's pretty. So I didn't think that. I think that was probably the least offense I did to others. Maybe not. Again, still bad. Like I probably should have just asked her. Um, and just let her tell me no, and then I just didn't do and then just not do anything, right? So I do that, and then I remember the last thing I do, just last minute check. I go and I check her best friends list on Snapchat, which again I hate Snapchat. It's the most stressful app ever. I really don't like it, and I don't like hate people who use Snapchat. I'm not like one of those corny like, oh, if Snapchat didn't exist, dating would like, you know what I mean? Like I use Snapchat. It's just sometimes it gets really stressful, just over like little shit that shouldn't be stressful. But like that's how we had met. Like we met over Snapchat, so I don't have any gripes with Snapchat, right? Anyways, so I go through her best friends list. At the very bottom is a dude named Luke Arnold, and I had gotten real nervous because that was one of the dudes she said was in her old ex talking stage. And was like, okay, why is this dude at her friends list? And again, another red flag I probably shouldn't have. She still like snaps a bunch of people. She had told me she had like unadded all of her like quote unquote huz after we started dating. But like, dude, I saw that name and I was like, fuck, I'm fried. And if I didn't, and I was like right at the bottom, like if I did not see that name, dude, we would have been like, holy crap. But I saw that name and I was like, fuck, why? Like, shit. And like, at the first thing I thought when I saw that name was not, oh, she's probably just, okay, she's probably just still snapping him, right? Like, I'm not, if it's just like on deliver, just snapping, it's like, okay, I'm fine with that. So I go into their chats again. I feel horrible. I should not have gone through her phone, right? Like I just want to make that clear. Like I am not condoning this. I'm not defending myself. I should not. Like bottom line, I should not have gone through her phone. But I went through there and I saw, her, like I went through her chats with Luke, and I expected most of them just to be older romance stuff, like that's fair, right? Like I think I have probably saved older romance stuff with some of my ex talking stages, so I'm not gonna judge her for that, right? She probably just left it there, again, just what is what is. But like the thing I see is like a week ago she had saved voice notes and chat with him, And it's like, come on, bro. And I don't remember exactly what the voice notes were. I think I remember looking at the transcripts, but one of them was like him, and it was only the only things that were saved were three voice notes of him responding to her. I don't remember what the voice note said, but the remember I one remember freaked me out because it's like, oh god, what the hell were they talking about? Like, was this her like being weird or like trying to be romantic with? Like, I didn't know how to take it. I started freaking out. Like, my heart was bumping. It was bad. But I remember like the last or second to last one was like him responding to a question. I get from what I could pick up, it was like, I'm assuming the question was like, am I being annoying from her? Because his response was like, no, you're not, or like, I don't know, but she had said those three, and I started freaking out. Like, I was like, oh god. And what was bad is that this was the same night that her and one of her friends, one of the friends I don't like, I don't like this friend, had gone out to like a basketball game or something, at like at our school, and had like gotten stranded out in like the middle of like some random fast food restaurant because they all thought, and they like this friend took her phone and started calling like just dudes after dudes. It's like, bro, on my like that's my girlfriend's phone. I don't care. Like, sure, if you want to do that on your phone and find somebody to come pick you up, all fair by me. But why does it have to be my girlfriend? Like, you're using my girlfriend's phone to call a bunch of guys, right? And I don't blame my girlfriend for that. I really do think that was just her friend being a kind of an idiot, right? So I don't blame her for that, right? But again, that was the same night. It was like, okay, because then I was like, okay, in my head, it was like, oh god, did they talk to Luke? Because that's the same exact night, right? They were talking to Luke the same night I was right. The same night they were stranded. I was like, oh god, did they like what were they talking to him about? And and I started freaking out. So I was like, I laid down in the little like bed couch thing. It's like a futon, so it like flips up and down or whatever, right? It's broken, so it's really just in its bed state constantly. So I laid down. My girlfriend's still playing Minecraft. I just have the phone on my chest. This like whole, or like I have the phone like propped up like on my knee or whatever, right? Because I was like had the position where I'm like curled up a little bit, and I'm in that position, and she's playing Minecraft, and she's like, "Where's my phone at?" And she's like, "I got it right here." And she's like, "So you're just staring at it all, like when it's off?" I was like, "Yeah." I lied. I was like, "Yeah, I was looking at it while it was off." So so I give her her phone back, right? I don't. I like I and here's the thing. I never went through. I just want to make this clear. I never went through her chats with that one girl that she was talking about family stuff. I'm gonna be blunt. I did not do that because I thought that would have been like a really jerky move. Um, And then one of her other close, like probably her best friend, which I also have no gripes with. I really like her best friend. I thought she was cool. Um, I didn't go through any of those like super personal chats because I didn't know what was in there. And I remember I sent her home. I started acting a little weird. I brought all her stuff, like her presents and stuff, out to the car when her dad came and picked her up. And she got home, and I was like, I remember the first thing I texted her a little bit after she got home was like, so what were you and so talking about last Friday, which was the dude that I had saw on her best friend's site, and I was like, I was freaking out, like I didn't know what to do. I genuinely thought she was cheating on me, and that probably was also a bad assumption. But she was like, and she was like, what do you mean? And and I was like, shit. I was like, what was I like? I think I had told her like, um, I don't remember the exact like what the exchange was word for word, but I remember we talked and I was like, I accused her. I got really upset and I was like, you were like, and I remember I started being like snarky or something. And again, I fucked up. Like this is not a good look on my part, and I condone all of my actions back then. I was just in a very, I'm not gonna try to defend myself. It was just a bad look. So that happens, right? And I'm like all upset at her, and we're both like, okay, we need to go to bed. Like I had accused her, like I had directly said like were you cheating on me? And I remember she was like one of the first things she said was, did you go through me and my friend's chat, like the two that I had said before, the ones I don't have gripes with? And I was like, no, I did not. I didn't. I'm not that much of a jerk, right? I didn't. So I didn't go through her chats, and I didn't lie about that. I didn't do it. She was like, so what did you go through? And I told her what I went through. I went through, I added myself to her private story. I went through her drafts, and I looked at her best friends list, and then I saw Luke on there. And she was like, okay, how much did you see from Luke's? And I said, just the three voice notes. That's all I saw saved on there. Everything else above was just like old romance stuff, which I expected. I'm not gonna like get mad at her about, right? That's just way it is. And maybe I'm being forgiving there. I didn't. I just thought that was like, okay, whatever. And she was like, did you see anything else? And in retrospect, I'll get to that later, but in retrospect, it's like, hmm, interesting. But and then I didn't think at times like, no, I didn't go through like I didn't go through anything else, right? So she was like, okay, and she got like mad. She was actually like rightfully so. I went through her shit and I didn't tell her, and I accused her of cheating. So she got really mad, and we had both said goodnight. And then I remember the following morning, I was like, I remember that night I was like, shit. Like I think I realized really fast, like, damn it, I fucked up really bad. Especially like right before Christmas, like, oh. And she was the worst part. She was supposed to come to like a family event with me 2 days later for Christmas Eve. And it's like, oh God, what did I do? Um. So yeah, that was really bad. Um. Anyways, so we go a little while, and I'm like, I don't remember how this all played out. But point is, I think we didn't like really make up, but we were like, let's just not talk about it for now. And neither of us like again, that was the part of the reason why I think we broke up. We were just terrible communicators to our feelings with each other. So we were each like, okay, we're just gonna not talk about it, right? So we didn't like we were like, she's like, I don't really want to talk about it. So we didn't. We were just kind of like moved on, and then I took her to my little family event, and actually, I think we had a good time. I mean, we laughed with each other. Like she was smiley, and I think she was okay with it, and I think we were good at the time. Like I think in the moment when we were together, we were like, okay, all should be well. Like everything looks good, and my family loved her. Like my extended family who was all there, like it really enjoyed her time, and so they all really liked her. So that went over a lot smoother than I thought it was going to. Um. Anyways, so after that, it was like, shit. I don't know what's gonna like like okay crap, and we break up, and it's like, Sam, like damn, that's just or no, sorry, I'm skipping ahead. I'm a little tired. I'm kind of bouncing around. So we break. No, we don't break up, but like we jump ahead or jump ahead like a few days. We're not really talking. She's about to leave to go out of town, and we talk, and she doesn't really want to face like this is it's probably been weeks, like nah, not weeks, but probably like 6 to like 8 days since we had FaceTimed last. Like actually like FaceTimed on call, and but she was like she wasn't able to talk because she was out in like a little remote town or whatever with her grandparents, and they were doing Christmas stuff with her extended family, and I guess her aunts and her uncle were in the room over. Um, right. So her aunt and uncle were in the room over, and she didn't want to FaceTime because it's like I don't really want them listening in. It's like okay, fair, but it was weird though because it's like what another thing that like made me like really anxious and nervous was like we had called last time, right, when her aunts and uncle were there. So it was like, oh God. So that was like one of the very other things that started to make me panic. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna respect it. We're not gonna talk. And I was like, when can we talk? Tuesday? Or I was like, yeah, 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 yeah. Okay, so we go a couple days. I started to get really anxious because I felt like she was being very avoidant per se. Like she wasn't really wanting to talk. And again, another reason like I was worried about like Snapchat delivery times. It's like fuck, like that should not have been something I worried about, but it was. And what I started doing is I would post on my private to like try and get her to snap me back, right? And I think that's what even made me more nervous because she would only it got to a point where she would only snap me back after she viewed my private story. Because by this time she had turned her location off after I accused her of cheating. Because rightfully so. Again, like I deserve to get quote like punished for that, I guess. But like she had turned her location off, right? So I couldn't tell when she was online and stuff. And it was like God, like all this stuff would just like pile up, and like I would just get like really anxious and like shit. Like she's only answering me on delivery when she knows I know she's letting me on me deliver, right? Or like she would do this, and there was one night where we had we had or okay, so I started getting like really anxious, and there was times where like she would snap me and like full makeup, like hair done and everything. It was like in the first mind I was like, okay, I'm too scared to ask her like, did you go out somewhere tonight? Because she's in the middle of nowhere. She's not going out anywhere. So I was worried like because she would tell me like her strategies for like getting basically hoes or huz or whatever like back when she was kind of a hoe was like, oh, I would like have to like put on, it was like so much work, I have to put on all this makeup and stuff just to look good for these people. And I thought she was doing the same thing. I was like, oh God, like, and I thought, and at the time I thought it was like, did me accusing her of cheating like make her say well, if he's gonna accuse me, then I'm just gonna do it, right? So now this time I thought she, because I didn't think before she was actually cheating. Then I thought she was actually cheating, but I didn't bring it up again because I didn't want to like falsely accuse her, right? So instead, I let it fester because again, I didn't want to feel like I'm pushing her boundaries or pushing her buttons. So I was like, I just let this all stuff fester, and eventually, I call her or I tell her one night. I was like, hey, I really need someone to talk to because I had like a panic attack like about all this stuff. I had a panic attack and I was like, hey, I really need somebody to talk to. And I think I think I deleted those chats. But I was like, I had a panic attack and like there was just like a in my brain like a nervous system reaction. It was like, you need to break up with this girl right now. And I like legitimately started like my heart started pounding so hard and like I started breathing and shit. Like it was bad. So like I had like an actual panic attack in my bed that night. And I think I had texted her like 1 or 2 in the morning, like, "Hey, soon. I just need somebody to talk to. Like, I just need like I want to, have an emotional support because I'm like really freaking out right now. Like, I do not feel happy or like okay right now. I hope that's a village. Um, right. And I think I delete those chats because again, I don't want to stress her out. Like, she already has a really stressful life. I don't want to put more load, but I think that in itself, like me jumping back and forth on what I wanted to do, also stressed her out. Which again, not something I should have done. I should have just been open with my communications, especially at a time when she wasn't like in a lot of like heat or just like discomfort, right? So, so I go, God, oh, never mind. Okay, so I go and I tell her, I'm like, and it's like 2 nights in a row. Like first night I had a panic attack. The second night I was like, hey, I really need someone to talk to, and we talked like for probably a good couple of hours, and I was like, and I basically had just like ranted to her, and I was like, hey, I'm like really starting to freak out. Like I'm overthinking. I don't know what to do. And I think like I understood she was listening, but it didn't feel like she was like listening. Like you know what I mean? Like she was listening to me, but she didn't care all that much. And I told her that I was like, hey, it doesn't feel like you care all that much about me because like you're doing this shit. And God, I wish my memory's better because I want to remember this fully so I can give like an accurate description like of exactly what happened so I know how to like fix it and be better like in the future. But I don't remember it. Like it was kind of a very in the moment rash thing, and it happened at like 3 in the morning. So I was like and we were both very tired, not good mental states to be like talking about serious crap. Um, but I had told her like, hey, I feel like you don't care, and I was like, I just started ranting for probably a good 20, 30 minutes. Like I am not like this is me ranting. Like I am a huge ranter. I didn't feel comfortable ever ranting around her because I feel like she didn't care, or she wouldn't have cared. She probably wouldn't have. But like I'm just a huge ranter, and I could go on for hours and hours. But I try to keep my stuff short. And I tell her, I'm like, hey, can you, um, like I told her like I feel like she doesn't care, and she got frustrated. And she's like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to help you because you just feel like I feel like you're just like complaining to me. And I honestly I didn't give her a solution. That's another reason thing I think I screwed up on. I didn't like I was a terrible communicator. I would just like rant and like spiral and like I did not know how to express myself or my emotions and how I felt without feeling like I was gonna hurt her more than I already have. Um, and she had, and eventually by the end of the night we were like, okay, we're like we need to go to bed. Like it's too late. We needed stress. And then I was like, hey, can we talk in the morning when we're like actually at a good level, right? We're actually at a good position. And I was like, and she we were like, okay, we're gonna talk. And I leave the house at like 12:30 ish or something. I go over to like a little field, right? Because my family's pretty snoopy. That's why I have to do these videos so late because they listen in on me. But I went out to a field. I was out in the cold. It was like probably like 30 degrees outside. It sucked. But we were out there, and I called her. I was like, hey, I'm ready to talk. And we get on call, and I basically do the same spiels last night. I thought I was prepared and ready to talk to her, but I wasn't. And I did the same. I was ranting. I was a lot of ums and ums, a lot of that. And it was very unscripted, and I felt like that was another. I was still very emotionally charged from the night before, and I think she was pissed at me for being kind of immature. Like I was super immature the last like few weeks of the relationship, and I still feel horrible about that. But teach their own. And I was like super guilty, and every time I would say something, she would like immediately like discard it and be like, she would get angry with me. Like, and I think that's another thing that hurt really bad because I was actually really emotional with her, and I was trying to be as vulnerable and honest as I could be, but she just didn't know what to do or know how to handle it. So she would get angry at me and confused with me, and we would, it's just like it was not pretty, and I would start, and then I started to get a little heated because I felt like she wasn't attempting to understand me, or she wasn't trying to, and she just didn't care. She was trying to dismiss my emotions. But I remember we hung up, and I was like, God, I need to figure this out on my own. I'll talk to you later, right? But then immediately after we hang up, I call her back, and I'm like, hey, like, no, we need to figure this out now because like our relationship is not going to go well if we don't try and communicate. And I just like basically, I wouldn't say I blow up. If I had blown up, I would have been a lot more screamy and more angry. But I had just basically just like stood my ground. I was like, I don't like even just now. Like I feel like you're dismissing my emotions and you just don't care. And then I remember we both got pissed at each other, and then she was like, I don't like, and she was like, you want me to baby you, you want me to mom you, and like at the time, yeah, I guess that would be a good like a way to describe it. I just wanted to be like, I don't know, I just wanted a hug. That's basically what I want. I wanted the online digital version of a hug, and that doesn't exist. So I think that's where I was struggling, and I was so emotional, and I needed somebody to support me, and she didn't care. She was more angry. I think she viewed it as more like a we need to figure this out conversation, and I viewed it more as a I need emotional support conversation. And that was where the pitfall happened. So I got angry. I was about to start crying. I was like, I need to hang up right now. I'm going to burst into, like, I am going to cry. And then I proceeded to hang up on her, sat up against the fence, cried for a good 20 minutes just outside in the 30-degree weather. It sucked. I cried and I just wept and it sucked. And I was really hurt. Like, I was like, God, what am I doing? Like, I have no self-respect for myself. This girl's treating me like shit, and I don't know what to do. Why don't I just leave her? So, and then that was the night her aunt and uncle left. So she was like we were gonna talk anyway. So later that night, she was like, "Are you ready to talk again, or do you want to wait?" And I was like, "I mean, we can talk if you want, but I'd rather not." Um, and then I proceeded to play Roblox with my sisters for 2 hours, which was fun. I loved that. And then my buddies decided to pick me up at like 10:40 at night, and we had a sleepover at their place, right? So I had a sleepover at their place, and we're over there, stay up to probably 4 in the night. Well, like about 3 in the morning, like the day, like I guess 3 in the morning, the night after that whole blow up, and I cried out in the field. She was like, I, th- I think we need a break. And at this point, I was like, okay, oh yeah. So here's what happened. In between playing Roblox with my sisters and me crying out in the field, I was like, okay, I need to fix this. I've been a terrible boyfriend. I feel so guilty. I feel so bad. Like, I'm gonna come up with a plan right now, right here. So I sat down, and admittedly, I did do it with AI because AI is like, it actually did like help me. And then I created a plan. I was like, here's what I do when I start to spiral. Here's what I do. Like, here's how I like feel more comfortable with her and how I'm going to be a better boyfriend. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna send her a voice note later tonight. And then I had gotten distracted with my sisters. Terrible timing. So I got distracted with my sisters and the sleepover and stuff. I was like, okay, I'll just send the voice note later. Well, then my girlfriend at like 3 or 2 in the morning was like I think I need a like we need a break. Please give me space. And I didn't know how to handle it. I basically went mute for most of the sleepover. The rest of the night, I had put on like a little beanie and covered like half of my eyes because I didn't want to show any emotion. I think my guys, like my buddies, recognized that something was up with me, but they kind of left me respectful about it. I appreciate that from them. Um, but yeah, so that had happened, and I was like, God, what did I do? Like, I really fucked up. So I asked AI again. I was like, what do I do? And because I really didn't like, I didn't know if I wanted to send a voice note, and I was like, okay, I respect your decision. And then and then I woke up. So I probably fell asleep at 4, and then I woke up at like 10:30, and I wake up to the text message. Sorry, I meant to say break up. And what was weird was like, I didn't feel horrible. Like, I just saw the text, and I was like, welp, we're in the end. Like, this is the quarters. This is the fourth quarter. Like, I need to save. Like, I need to try and save the relationship. Like, I did not feel sad. I did not feel, and that was horrible. Like, I didn't feel guilt. Like, I didn't feel bad. I didn't feel sad. I was like, okay, my only goal right now is just to save the relationship. So I start like spewing to her. I was like, hey, I'm sorry. I know I did all these things. I own up to it. And I think we had talked back and forth. I was telling her like I have a plan, and I wanted to just send you the plan over voice note, but I just like I needed to get it out. And then by the end of it, it was like I checked her TikTok reposts, and it was like when I low key when he did me dirty, but I low key did him dirtier, and I was like, fuck, I was right. So I just stopped. I dropped everything. I was like, no, never mind. We are not getting back together. We're done. Right. So I unadded her on everything. I unfollowed her on TikTok and all that stuff. And this is really where it gets to the crux of the video. Finally, I don't even. We've probably I've been recording for like 45 minutes. Oh God. Okay, so 45 minutes in, I finally get to the point of why I wanted to make this video. Um, it's kind of like so the whole after this was like being the bigger person. Who wanted to be the bigger person? Like who was gonna like be the take the high road? And I remember I was like, I saw that repost. It's like, great. She wants to be a bitch, right? She just wants to mess with my head. She just wants to be a jerk, right? So I'm like, fuck it, we're done. I don't want to speak to her. So I unadded her on everything. And then like throughout the course of the day, I just saw her freak out. Like her TikTok repost like had some crazy shit. It was like one of them was like me with his homeboy. Like I told, or the me with the guy I told him. So it's basically just admitting to cheating. So I knew I was right, and I don't know if it was I was because I instigated it. I was like, "Hey, you're cheating, right?" And she took that and was like, "Okay, I'm going to cheat on you," or she was already. I don't know which one it was, but I'm like 99% sure she was cheating on me at one point. So she was cheating on me, and I will probably never forgive her for that. But I'll forgive her for other stuff. But the cheating's pretty bad. Because she was also like super against cheating, and she was like, "I hate cheaters." Like if you like, why not just break up with them, right? And I think that's what she was trying to do. I think in that moment she was like, after she had cheated, she was like, I need to break up because I am cheating and I am kind of going against my own morals. This is just my theory, so none of this is like is concrete, but that's what I felt like happened. Like in retrospect, I think that's what was going on. So I stalk her repost. I did on my computer, so she could never see like the notification, like, oh, Jonesy has opened your Snap or your TikTok or whatever, right? So I open up, or I just check it, and throughout the day, it's like, oh, I hate him. Oh, he's created from hell. Oh, he just like fucking do all this like shit to me, right? And I was basically just shitting on me and being like, I don't know how we ever dated him. Like I hated him the whole time, like stuff like that. And I didn't take any of it personally, because girls just kind of do that. Like I know a lot of girls who've just like get out of relationship and just start shitting on their boyfriend. So most of it I didn't take personally. The only stuff I took personally is basically her admitting to cheating. But all the other stuff I felt was just like cope because we had just broken up and I think she was still upset about it. So most of it was just cope, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna take the higher road, and this is where I think the crux of my video. And I'll probably post a shorter one, just a rant from now on. Just like I think I'm gonna probably cut this up, like post a full rant, and then post a short like what matters. So from here on, I'll probably like actually, oh shoot, a village, nice. Okay, so and I was like, okay, I want to be the higher person, right? She's posting all these bad TikToks about me, like basically just like admitting her guilt. Like she could have walked away scot free in the relationship. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like she could have been the crowning jewel. Like, oh, I like he did me dirty. I didn't ever like it was all his fault. And I would say the breakup is mostly fine. I think she handled the post breakup really poorly. But throughout the day, it was like shit, like fucking um she was just like, "Oh yeah, I cheated on him," like all this just bad stuff about me, and I was like, "Man, this girl was a dick. Like she was not. This was not someone I want to talk to anymore." And I was happy I unadded her. And on my repost, the only thing I reposted about our relationship was like, um, it was like some geometry dash video, and it was like, "Don't be sad that it ended. Be grateful for the lesson you learned." Right? And I was like, "Okay, I'm grateful for the lesson I learned. My lesson learned. Don't be an idiot. Like ask for permission. Don't overthink things. All that good jazz. Don't date a hoe. I guess would be another one. Or someone who brags about other guys being hot and stuff. Also, I finally found a village. Thank the Lord. Um. Anyways, so I'm like sitting here. I'm just gonna eat my instant stand. Okay, so I'm in this. I'm just like I'm checking her repost throughout the day, and she checked mine multiple times. And I remember I would get the notification every time. So it's like I think she was checking to see if I was trying to shit on her, and I think she realized once like, oh shit, I'm not shitting on her. She stopped reposting that shit. Like she like once she realized I'm not doing like I quote unquote took the higher road, she was like, "Oh shit." Like I did not see any more reposts, right? And she just kind of stopped reposting altogether. And then Um, what was I trying to say? Oh yeah, whole point is, anyways. So right, and then she texts me at probably 7, 8 o'clock that night. A whole, or I guess it was probably more midday, like maybe 5 or 6. It was just a midday text. It was like the whole, the whole 9 yards, like a giant paragraph worth of crap. Um, like I'm sorry. Like she acknowledged, she said she didn't feel like she could get a chance to, say her feelings because I up and just basically dropped her on everything. And she did a whole paragraph like everything she did she felt like I did wrong, and I admitted, like I agreed, like most of the stuff she wrote about me I was like, okay, that's fair, yep, that's fair, I did do that, that's fair to be mad about. And then she wrote like probably like a sentence of something she felt bad about me for, which I don't think was, I don't think that, I think that was just her trying to save face. And I told her that I was like, I think the first thing I said was, I appreciate your vulnerability, because that was probably hard for, I'm just gonna give her benefit of the doubt, like I appreciate the vulnerability. And then I was like, I also admire like you attempting to reach out. Like, again, I also admire that. That's like, that's impressive. And I tell her, and then I go, and then I said but I didn't think anyone just like, so I unsent that message. I said but, and then I said that's all, and then I told her, and I just wanted to like twist a dagger, which I don't know if this was good or not, but it got her to stop talking to me. So I was like, I've seen your reposts. Um, I I've seen your reposts. I'd rather you not attempt to save face. Um, and then I said, I don't want to talk to you again. And then that was the end of it. So that was the end of our communications with each other. That was the end of the things. And the whole crux of this video, the whole point I want to get to, and I'm going to shorten this up, because I would rather just have like a singular video on this, So yeah, if you're watching the shortened version, welcome. You just missed a very hour-long rant about my ex-girlfriend, the whole situation, 9 yards that happened. It's probably way too drawn out, but I'm a yapper. So the whole point of this video is I want to talk about why it feels so difficult to take the high road, especially in situations where someone feels wronged, even if it was like a mutual feeling of discomfort, right? So like when we broke up, and she posted a lot of shit on TikTok, I like the first immediate thing I was like I don't want to make things worse and look worse on myself. So I dropped everything. I dropped all contact for this. Like, I'm gonna take the high road. I'm not gonna repost about her. I'm not gonna talk shit about her. I'm not gonna act like she was the demon on her, because she wasn't. She did some shit. She reposted some shit, but she wasn't. Like, I forgive her for most of the stuff. I even forgive her for the repost. Like, even now, I'm like, I don't feel that, like, logically, I forgive her for the repost, even if some of them were pretty like dicky and shit like that. Like, I forgive her for like lashing out and being upset and doing some brazen things, because I've done brazen things too. Like, I don't judge her. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to take the high road. I'm not gonna reach out to her. I'm not gonna repost anything bad about her. You know, and it's just an example. And I'll give other examples from like other times in my past too. But it's like I take the high road, but it was so difficult for me to like not let my emotions take over and try to just be bad. Like, I just wanted to be bad. Like, I just wanted to do bad shit on top of the bad. Like, I wanted to repost shit about her and talk shit about her and be like, man, this is awful. I hate her so much. Like, she did me wrong. But most of it's caused by me. I'm not gonna shit on her. And it's like, even like repost, like, even if she did do me wrong, I'm not gonna repost about her, because I feel like that's just, it's not good, right? I wanted to take the high road, but it was so difficult for me to do that, because I would see TikToks, and the algorithm is trying to keep you engaged and all that crap, right? So I see TikToks, and it's like, oh, and it described my situation. Like, it got pretty accurate to my situation, right? And I had a folder just like, man, I wish I could repost this, right? So I started saving these TikToks to my repost folder. And I remember throughout the day, I was like, man, I want to repost this, but I'm going to be the better person. I'm going to try to take the higher road. And I think, and I feel like that in itself does not make me a better person. Like, I feel like I should have, in the first place, I should have just, like, internally, I have to be like, I just don't want to repost it. But I wanted to repost it. Like, I think whether I repost it or not, I would have been this. Like, I still think I'm a bad person for wanting to repost that, right? Like, inherently, um, like, wanting to repost that itself is a character flaw that I have that I would need to fix, right? like I don't think I think I took the high road to be more quote unquote feel like a better person. But in reality, I wanted to repost. I wanted to do all this shit, even if it was just for a little bit, right? But and I don't know how you would view that because I'm not like a psychologist or anything. But it's like I wanted to do this shit. Does that make me a bad person just because I didn't, or like I would say like let's say you're shit talking somebody, I would still consider you a bad person if you shit talk people behind their back. Like I don't know the best way to describe this, but you know what I mean. Like I still felt like I would still consider myself a bad person for wanting to repost this stuff or trying to be, or not a bad person, but I would say that's like a flaw of mine, and I shouldn't. I if I was a perfect man, I wouldn't want to do all, but I wanted to do that, right? I just didn't because I felt like I needed to take the higher road, and I think that was good. I think I do respect my decision. Just like not try to, but it was so hard. There were times where I would repost a TikTok, leave it up for like an hour, and just take it down because like God, well if she sees this, then it makes me look bad, and it's like I don't want to be the dick, at the end of the relationship. I don't want to stoop down to her level because she really ruined it. Like she could have taken the relationship and just been like, well, Garrett did all this shit to me, and I would have said yes. I would have said, yep, I did that. I feel bad. I'm sorry. I'm going to learn my lesson for the next relationship. She could have done it. She could have taken the high road. But then she decided to just stoop down, and it's like, well, I'm gonna capitalize, I guess. Technically, like if you're considering this a competition, I'm going to like I like if like let's say like people talking to me in school, like I'm gonna tell them what happened. Like I'm gonna tell them like I fucked up, but after the relationship, she not only validated my fears of cheating, but she also basically just shit talked me the whole time. Uh, and I think some of the TikToks were untrue, just because like previous conversation, like I do think at some point she did really like me, and I think at some point she did, like you know what I mean. I don't know how to describe it, but like she did care for me and all that stuff, right? Now, the whole point is I want to be in, the reason why I'm making this because I would rather less this be just a journal. I do want to get like a lesson, whether it be for me or for some random who discovers this and wants to watch this. I want the lesson to be, or I want the thing to be like, why. I want to like figure this out to myself so I can apply this in the future. Like, why is it so difficult to take the high road? And should you feel guilty about taking the high road but not wanting to take the high road? Like I want to be a little scum of the earth so bad. Like there are times I'm like, God damn it, I wish I could just be a bitch, but I don't. I'm not going to because I know later me will feel bad about it, and it's like I'm not gonna put that on myself later. And this is just me speaking, but even like externally, it's like I don't want to be viewed as like a horrible, awful person, right? Because I would not, I would consider myself, and maybe this is be tooting my horn, but I would consider myself overly like overall trying to be the best person I can be, even if I mess up or stumble. Sometimes I try to be the best me I can be, and the whole it's like when you're in an argument with somebody, and I'm going to make this general because I want to, get the general topic out so not only I can learn, but, again, maybe if anyone's watching this and wants to learn. I think the general thing when you get into an argument or like a really deep, um, like issue with somebody and you're like, oh, is it good to take the high road? And I do. I think if you can, try your best to not be like take the like don't be a dick, don't be like shit talking, like just like move on, like. And I know it's hard, like you want to talk to these people, like I did care, like for example my girlfriend, I cared about her, I love my girlfriend, I'm gonna be honest with you, like I really liked her, right? And I think that was part of why it's so hard not to like be emotional towards our breakup, because I was like, man, I loved her so much. I was like, ah, man, I want to express my emotions, but you have to express your emotions in a way that's not going to, one, tarnish your like not tarnish your reputation, but two, also not something that's going to hurt someone else. I feel like if I had reposted some of those TikToks that I wanted to repost, I would have hurt her feelings, and I would have made it worse between us. And I don't want to have any grudges against her. She definitely has grudges against me, and I think I have maybe one, just the fact that she cheated, or I guess cheated in quotations. I'm 99% sure she cheated, but I don't have like concrete evidence, so I'm not gonna like die on that hill, right? Like I'm not gonna be like blah blah blah. I'm not an old man with a cane swinging at the sky, anyways. So, and the whole thing is like, man, it's just like I want you, so you want to take the higher route, and I think it's so hard for people in general to be, because they care. They have a very emotional connection to this person, and even if you've hated them for so long, that's like, again, it's a strong emotional feelings towards this person, and you have to act out emotionally, whether it be like through reposts or physical, or not physical, but like verbal, like attacking, or you have to express your emotions in a way, and some people just don't really know how to express it. Like even me, like I think this is how I'm going to express my disdain and anguish towards all. Like I think this video probably is how I'm expressing myself, and how I'm really like getting all those final emotions out there. Because really, since that, I've just kind of been bottling it up, and I've just been like, okay, well, it is what it is. Another thing I did was, obviously I deleted all my old pictures of her. I just got rid of a bunch of stuff like on my phone, just like pictures of her. I really just started to drop her from my phone, and I still have access to her, like her reposts and stuff on my computer. So like even like I have a bad habit of checking that. I probably shouldn't check it as much as I do. I probably checked it like 4 or 5 times a day just to see if there's any updates. Still shitting on me, but I think she's more on the road of, she's not reposting as much as she was really, but she's still shitting on me, and it's more on the road of, I'm either going to be the same me or I'm going to completely change myself. It's very like both sides of the coin. I don't know if she wants to be like herself or if she wants to change herself. I can't really tell. But like again, I shouldn't, like, we're not dating anymore. I really shouldn't care about what she's posting on her reposts, right? So it's like, okay, and I'm gonna walk you through this. Like when we broke up, I was like, okay, I need to take the higher road. I'm gonna drop her on everything. I'm gonna unrepost all my stuff about her. I'm gonna, like, just get rid of anything that would remind me of her. Try to avoid thinking about her, because we're done. We're not dating anymore. There's no reason for me to be sitting still. And I learned this from my first breakup. I was like, the longer you hold on to sentimental stuff with that person, the harder it is gonna be for you to get over them and become a better you, right? So I broke up with her, with my second ex, and I was like, okay, I want to be the best me. I want to take the higher road while also self improvement. So I'm going back to the gym again, which is probably good. I needed to do that. So I'm back in the gym, just like using this as motivation. But it's like, God, like I'll see you repost, you post, it's just shitting on me. And it's like, God, like it's so hard for me to take the higher route, especially when I know her friends are not gonna be able to like, they're like, I'm never, like, I guess not her friends, but like people she talks to are never gonna be able to hear my side of the story and how I feel and how I'm trying to, how I felt about everything. So it just hurts because it's like all these people I've never met, just reputations tarnished of me. But in reality, it's like I'm never gonna talk to people. I don't meet these people. I don't care for these people. And it's almost like me getting upset towards my girlfriend or my ex-girlfriend for shitting on me and shit. Like, there's no reason to me. Like, she can do what she wants. I have no attachment to her, but because I had that emotional connection with her, it makes me want to act out just as emotionally as she did, right? It wants me to repost all this shit about her and be like a bad person, start shit talking her and be like, ruining, like, just like being a bad person to her, right? And I don't want to do that. Like, I really don't. Like, I don't get, like, it's just like, I want to take the higher road. And even then, like, even tonight, like tonight's New Year's, like probably good 4 or 5 hours ago, I just started like mass quick adding people on Snapchat. It just was not fun. It sucked. I hated it so much. It was the most unfun experience of my life. So I immediately unadded any of the ones that added me. Like I started quick adding people and started snapping girls, and I was like, God, this fucking sucks. I don't want to do this. Like, this is not fun. Like, I tried to take the low route, but I was just doing it out of revenge. It's like, God, this sucks. This is not fun. I'm not getting any exhilaration or fun out of this. This is just boring, and I don't want to do this. Like, I'm not getting enjoyment out of this. So I stopped. I dropped all of them. I was like, God, okay, I fucked up again. I shouldn't have done that. So it's like, okay, now I have to find out a way where I can take the high road while also expressing myself emotionally, and I think this like little video thing is going to be the best way to do that. Um, because it's like, okay, here's how to express. And I think what most people need to do when they want to take the high road, again, find a way where you can express your emotion, like your emotional side of yourself, without doing it in a way that's going to harm other people, right? Like, you shouldn't suppress your emotions, right? You shouldn't just distract yourself, because then it builds up and it gets worse, and it ultimately becomes like a worse problem it would have been if you had just like irrationally acted out once, right? Like, don't hold your emotions, right? but find a way to express your emotions in a way that's quote end quote taking the higher route. Like, you know what I mean? And I think it's hard for people to do that because they want to react instantly, right? And I don't know. It's just it's a really sticky situation to get out of. And I wish I was more confident in the way I talked, just like now, just so I could really emphasize my point and get it across. It is 5 in the morning though, and I'm running off like 3 hours of sleep, so not not the greatest conditions. Um, but the whole crux of this is when you two are in an argument and you want to take the higher road, you should not act out emotionally and instantly. You should find a way to not suppress your emotions, but relieve yourself and relieve your emotions without seeming like, like without hurting others or hurting the future you because you just don't want to. And maybe, and some people are just built to, take the low road. I'm not judging you for that either. It's just how some people compress it, and some people don't feel guilty, and that's okay. That's by all means. I like to consider myself very forgiving. You do you, bro. I understand where you're coming from. But personally, and I feel like this is a lot of the best way for a lot of people to handle it is when you're in a stressful situation, don't view it as like, how do I put this? When 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 you two are basically in a quote unquote competition to see who can be the better person, whether the other person's trying to take the high road or not, don't think of it as I need to be the better person because I want to be better than them. Take it as I want to take the high road because it's better for me. Like, it gives me self-respect and it gives respect to them no matter what they're doing, right? And it's the same way for me and my girlfriend, or my ex-girlfriend. She's, wants to repost all this shit about me, and she wants to talk shit, and that's okay. I'll let her do that. We're not dating anymore. Ultimately, she doesn't really mean anything to me anymore. So, oh, this music came on perfectly. That's kind of, I'm gonna turn this volume up. That's actually really sad. Right as I'm getting near the end of my rant, the Minecraft music decides to kick in. um, anyways, so the point is, when you're trying, when you're, of course, when you like, when they take the high road, not because you want to be better than them, but take the high road because you that's what's best for you as a person, and that's what's best for your mental state and your peace of mind. Because the last thing you want to do is do something you'll regret later and wish you had done something else. You know what I mean? Because it's better to, especially in a very emotionally charged state, and this applies to everything, it's better to, instead of reacting irrationally, you should react like you should just not react. You should just sit there, hold yourself, and even distract it for a while until you can put yourself in a position where you can react in a way that's not harmful to others. Like, whether it just be talking to another person, like I have people I could probably go to and talk to, or doing something like this, like writing in a journal, recording a video of just you talking to yourself. And I feel like that's the best way to handle things. Taking the high road doesn't mean being better. It means respect for you and for the other person. You know what I mean? And I think it's hard for people because they want to act emotionally charged. But yeah, that's my little rant. That was pretty perfect timing. The sun setting, the music just kicked in and then turned off. Um, but yeah, that's about everything I have. Just be the best you can be. It's the best you can ask for. This was good for me. Um, what's up, bro? But yeah, that's my little rant about being the taking the high road and why it seems so hard for some people. This wasn't the perfect rant. I'll probably try to refine mine and have it a little bit more structured next time. But I wanted to get this out just because I wanted to start it. But yeah, see y'all next time. I hopefully, I mean, if there is y'all, this will probably just be to me. I'll probably share this with some people I really trust, but yeah, maybe this will get out, maybe this won't. Thanks for listening in. If you want to listen in, this was good for me. Hopefully it'll be good to other people. But yeah, later, y'all. Actually, no, I am gonna wait till the sunrise just so I can get a little bit of a ending point. I can play my, you know what I mean. Uh, where's the sun? I need food by tomorrow, but oh, I love the shaders. There we go. I'll go over to the little lake real quick, or just get a view. Oh yeah, here we go. Perfect. Through the start. Come on, don't move. We had such perfect timing. We had such perfect timing. Oh, well that sucks. I'm about to just let it fall. Oh please don't blow up on me. Oh shoot. This is exactly what I needed. So I'm not gonna get to be able to get a cool video of the sunrise because I can't run and I have a creeper chasing me. Two of them, actually. So, I'm just gonna hide in the house and then end the video. Oh, I could get on the balcony. Oh, there is no balcony. Well, that's the best you're gonna get then. Okay, but yeah, that's my little rant. Sorry for the wandering about. I'll probably cut that out too in the video. I'll just have like a post an unedited version, and then I'll post the short like little rant version, just so I have it organized for myself and potentially for others. I really don't think any of this is gonna go anywhere. I think this is just my little personal journal, but you never know. So yeah, thanks for listening in, guys. This was good. This was good for me. This helped me work through some emotions I had, and I'm glad I was able to talk through this, even if it's 5 in the morning. Um, I'll come up with a cooler topic for my next video. Later, y'all.